let's do this first. What is good, everyone? It is your boy. Actually, that light is gonna mess me up. Yeah, cut that light out. Okay. What is good, everyone? It's your boy, that dude 341, and we are here on a review list. Now, of course, that means that Unlimited Saga, whenever I decide to do it, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube, I'll be doing it. Most likely, I'll be doing it on Twitch, but I'll show my other cases of it on YouTube. I'll try to let it play as much as I can of it down the line and stuff. But this right here will be a review thing, and then if I do decide that I want to do a collab with Happy Jim, we'll do that for a video of mine, depending on what he want to do. I'll ask him what he wants to do, and we see how that goes. Later down the line, let's see. Looks at this video, which if he looks at this video, works for me. But let's get into the real reason why I'm here. A Mato Anomalies review. I did the game and I have completed the game. People want to say I did it. 100% I did. I will show it on my side so people understand that I did it. As you've seen, I've done every achievement for it, so I could have my opinion about it. And I've played all of it on the hardest difficulty for the whole entire game, and I've completed the whole thing. So at least I think my opinion can kind of go along with it. So, without further ado, let's get on with this review exactly. To explain the main things about it. Now, first off, I'm going to go slow and steady. We're going to talk about the weapons, fighting characters, all the other stuff. But we're going to talk about, obviously, the weapons first. Obviously, as you can see, which, yeah, I know you see the damage and stuff. Sorry, I had to pick off whichever one was the quickest thing to the point. As you see, there's a whole bunch of weapons that we can pick from, but your characters can only pick between two said weapons. For example, you'll see a polearm, and then you'll see a sword. And then the other character has darts, whatever you want to call that. And then you have I don't know what I want to call this exactly. I don't even know what this is even called. What is this called exactly? Like, I want to say a gauntlet or something, but it's something along those lines. Oh, claws. There you go. They have it right here. They have weapon types right here.
I'm listening.
So yeah, they have it for each and every person. You can go for it and go on from there, though. So you can choose weapons, and if you don't mind exactly that it is a cooldown, which I'll show you in a second. As you see, most skills have cooldowns. Like, this is 4 turns, this is 6 turns, this is 10 turns, this is 4 turns. For most of certain attacks, you'll have cooldowns for, and all that stuff. Then you have weapon skills, which is a thing you'll have, which you don't have. Well, there's still cooldowns obviously you gotta worry about, but it all depends on you. So yeah, we got that and stuff. The next thing probably gotta worry about in particular is the fighting, which I'll show y'all the fighting. I'll give you an example. I'll pick like the first thing I see. Y'all ignore this. So I'm gonna go here with it and pick some other things. So as you can see, I have characters here, which hopefully ain't gonna spoil you too much, which I'm gonna try not to spoil y'all as much about the story and stuff. Well, not too much of it and stuff. But yeah, as you see, you have this in particular, which can be for random layers or side quests that you'll have. You'll have these things. They'll be there to buff you and stuff, whatever things you might need. So I'll give you an example here. Like, you'll see it'll either say, yeah, buff the attack, buff defense. They'll even say buff, like, maybe moon knights or moon knives or something, or they can buff a certain particular thing that you have in particular. I'm just picking this for example and stuff, and going from there and stuff. And of course, you have enemies out here, which most enemies are going to kind of be the exact same though. So yeah, we have these out here, and of course you have a whole bunch of them. As you see, this is the money sign one, then you have the others that are different, so on and so forth. So a lot of them are going to be like that. I'll try and make this as quick as possible though. So yeah.
We can't waste too much time on these goons.
So as you can see, you can have certain abilities that you can do a lot with this and stuff. Good amount of damage, and then yeah, it has cooldowns and stuff. So yeah.
We did it. Who's next?
Yeah, but anyway, moving out to the next part of it. Let me go out there and actually leave this spot if I absolutely need to. But I think I'm good for right now. Alright, so the next thing is the characters. Now, with the story and the characters in particular, I will be honest. I didn't really care as much about story because the main reason why is that around the end of the story, it feels so out of place. And it just feels so convoluted that I just didn't care as much about it. Because look, even when I say multiple times, I'm like, bro, this game is just all over the place. It's just over the place. I don't know how to even explain that game. That game just got so much stuff going on, which I think you'll understand down the lines of when you play it, though. So yeah, I'll just say it like this: the game could do a little bit working with that, but I mean, hey, I understand it's not going to be the best game in the world, like Persona or like some other games. Now the music, I will be honest, the music is not that great, and it's not the worst thing I've ever heard. So if I gotta rate the music, I would say it's like a good 4 or 5 out of 10 because it's just not really there. It's just kind of like, it's just music. It's not like it's the worst thing of all times, but it definitely is not that great. It's just there. It's kind of that weird specific spot with it. The next thing is graphics. I'll be honest, and I'll say it when I say this. I mean it when I say this with all respect for the game. The graphics are good. They're good. But there are some parts of it that aren't good. So I'll give you an example of something that's actually kind of cool. For example, I'm making this for an example. I won't try not to spoil too much on this though. So like, yeah, like the character models, yeah, some of them are okay, some of them are cool. Like these look cool, right? They all look kind of nice. They look all kind of nice, right? They look kind of nice to some degree. Or look kind of cold in some way. And then you have some other things, which I pray that I don't spoil you too much on this one, but for example, you then have stuff like this, which I'm like, ugh. Like, what am I supposed to say about that? I mean, it's interesting, but it's like, ugh. And some of them don't look all that great. So, other from maybe some enemy designs look kind of iffy, and maybe there's some animation errors that the game has, which it does happen. It does happen. Trust me, it does. It's gonna happen though. So just keep that in mind as well. The next thing is the hacking game, which, oh yeah, I can do this after I leave this spot. So I'm gonna leave this spot and show y'all the hacking game thing. Now I'm not gonna spoil you too much on how bad the hacking game is, but I'll show my parts about the hacking game, which I mentioned are very iffy. And I'll explain why it's very iffy, because it gets very tedious, and I think that a lot of people who have played this game should at least vouch for that it is very either mediocre or very So for example, now you have these two things. This is for DLC, so don't mind that. I'll explain my part about DLC way later. It's gonna be probably way late thing, which I can explain now, but I think DLC should be probably done for later because people might not even have played DLC. So let's get out and get this out of the way. So of course you have multiple different types of decks you could use. Some that are just some of them are okay, some of them that can be kind of like good to mark them and then, you know, do more extra damage, and then some that are shield providing, you know, so on and so forth. In this, it's interesting. It's a very interesting thing. And at first, second game, I was like, you know what, it's cool. This game's not good, right? But then it gets tedious. And I'll be honest with you, when you play the deck thing, it gets very, very tedious. Trust me when I say this, because like, I'll even say that this game is very interesting. It's just very tedious and very boring when you have to deal with the same enemy, or when you have to just deal with more nonsense on top of more nonsense, and then it just gets boring. And this is coming from the guy that played this game on the hardest difficulty, which, as you can see, my bad. Which, as you can see, have on hardest difficulty. I played everything on hardest difficulty, and you can even look at my other live streams and stuff where I kind of had to put it on like normal or something. And then I went back and I did it on the hardest difficulty, and I only did it for 2 bosses. And if you actually look at my gameplay, you know which one it is that I've done it for. Because one of them, I technically beat it, but I had to do it all over again because the game crashed on me, but I still wanted to do it on hard difficulty. And then the other one, which was just, the boss was just whooping my tail. I'm not gonna lie to you. That boss was whooping my tail 24/7. They were doing Suplex City on me and everything. But then I beat it later on and stuff. Which I would show y'all, but I don't want to spoil y'all too much on it unless y'all want a spoiler thing with it, which that's fine. But I'm gonna try to, like I said, try to make it spoiler free without making it too wordy. Someone might want to know about it now and stuff. So thought it was fair to say. Okay, another thing. Yeah, you have dogs you can pet and stuff right here. So yeah, you can pet dogs, you can pet some cats. Sometimes the dog is just gonna, pee on your shoe. And the cats don't really do nothing bad to you that I don't know of in particular, because either that or it's very, very rare that happens. So yeah, you're gonna have that stuff that happens as well. But let me see if I can find a hacking part of the game for you, or if I were y'all, I would look at my old videos or old clips. If I can find it. Actually, I'll find the clip for y'all right now, actually. Let me do that right now for y'all. Let's do it. Okay, so I turned that off, even though you're hella music playing though, but yeah. So as you see, or as you can see, there is this thing. And of course, at first, it's fun, right? It's fun, you get to do this, you get to do that and stuff. And then it gets more harder and then more annoying and tedious, and it feels more of a chore. And of course, did I forget to mention that you have to do that for a lot of side quests? Because yeah, now let's go over here to the side quests now. Because there's a lot of them that I had to do it for. Now, of course, if you like the game and it's enjoyable for you, whatever you do play it, go for it, it's fun. But other than that, it takes way too much time, yeah, it gets annoying. So yeah, of course you have like chapter 8 stuff. Then it says, oh yeah, R, which is this, yeah. So we'll get to that when we get to that. And there's a whole bunch of them though. We're not going to include every one of them, but these are just that part of it, of the old loop. Now if we go into the old loop, or the old world, yeah, let me show you this. Nothing here, right? Side quests, a whole bunch of them. 2 of them are probably that. Then side quests here, same thing like that. Another right here, same thing again. This right here, same thing again. And there's a few or a good amount of them that are those things where you have to do it. And don't forget that you also have to do this in the main quest as well. So it's not just a side quest thing. This is a main quest thing as well, along those lines. And it can get boring and annoying very much the entire time. So I'm going to say this for y'all. If you don't like card games or card games that can get annoying, there is a thing where you can, I think, skip it after, 3 attempts. So I think you can still go through it if you don't want to deal with it, whether it's on easy, normal, or hard difficulty. So I will let you know that there's things for that. But you kind of want to go out there and win. That's how it feels. But yeah. So there's that as well. Now, here is the main thing that I have with this game. There are bugs and glitches in Mato Anomalies. Now, I don't know if they actually have some they can show. I have one, for example, that I can show y'all. Which, if I can't find it on YouTube, I'm just going to go out there and just put it up there for y'all. Because I already have one up here of an example it has. But I forgot to show how it's done. Which, I can give out a good explanation of how it's done. So just give me a second, though. Look at this crap. Just because I was under the thing, now I'm under here. Now I'm about to be right here by a pile of cash, and I'm going underneath the thing. Devs, y'all gotta fix this, bro. Y'all gotta fix this. Y'all gotta fix this crap. What the heck y'all want me to say about this? I'm going underneath here because a building block froze me and put me under here. And I'm stuck in here. And I'm going underneath the spots. Bro, I'm underneath the spot, bro. And I have to see the hands that are underneath grab me. Bro, I'm cooked, man. Y'all fumbled me, game. Come on. First off, let's go. Mato Anomalies. Bugs. Okay, y'all, so they don't have one. So I'm gonna have to put one up for me. And this is probably like a minute long, so I'll let that play right here. So while that's in there, I'm gonna go out there and just explain the other things when it comes down to that chance. Now the next thing is money. Now of course there's a few ways to get a lot of money to make it work. For example, what I had to do was I went up there and I grinded on the other side quest things of the dungeon and/or / layer. So they're called layers here. So think about this as like the metaverse mementos or anything like that of what you would say for any kind of layer thing that you go through. This would be the thing for it itself. And I've had to go through the other layers of it as well. And of course, these are all the layers in total. These are the amount of layers that you will have to fight. Then this one too, which I will do that later if I ever get a chance. But technically, by the time you're looking at this video, it's already done, probably. So you'd be alright with that. And all that stuff. And there is some times where the game will make some enemies have really, really high health. Don't worry too much about that. It kind of happens, but you should be able to probably beat it. The only problem I have is some of the bosses are a little bit broken. Especially if you're not leveled up that good. They are definitely annoying. But, and you also have to require to get certain items. So, if you want to be like, oh yeah, I want to just go through, let's say 1 right here, and I want to go to 1-3. You can't go to 1-3 because you need to go over here first to get some, shards or keys, whatever you want to call them, and then go from there. So keep that in mind as well, that you kind of can't just breeze through it that easily. You're gonna have to do that if you want to, cook up and get some more of those levels, because you're kind of gonna need it. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind of. But yeah, with money in particular, there's a lot of ways you can get money. For example, you can sell a lot of stuff though. So whether it's this you want to sell, whether it's that you want to sell, there's a lot of things you can sell and buy and stuff. But this ain't where you sell your thing at. These are just websites that you get stuff. But if you have to pick, well, if you want to know where it's at, I'll show y'all real quick. Like I said, I'm not trying to spoil too much, but I'm giving you at least some tips and hints here and there about the game, so y'all are okay. So if you decide, this is kind of be like your tips and or / hint video. And of course, like I said, you can pet the cat as well, and yeah. Don't mind these things, this DLC stuff, I did not mean to hit that button. But yeah, as you can see, you can pet the cat as well. And the cat usually never does nothing bad in particular to you. Only the dog does for some weird reason. But yeah, you can go up here and sell some stuff. So the travel merchant here will sell stuff to you. And of course, there's a lot of stuff you can sell and then buy and stuff. And of course, some of the items are very, very, very expensive. I will be honest with you, they are very expensive. So this is another problem I have with this game as well. Is that when you go up here, what you sell is not that much. But if I go over here, and I hate to say it, I'm not a PC person, I'd be doing it a lot better on controller. But around here, it's 2,000 here. It's 4,000, this is 10,000. And then, the process goes on and on of how expensive it can be. But there is easy, cheap ways you can go out there and get it, which is either one, selling your items, which would be like, for example, your weapons. You're not usually going to care about most of the weapons you get, but if you do, a lot of weapons you can go out there and sell them, get a lot of money out of it, or a decent amount of money, and get your items and stuff. What I recommend for the weapons is that you just go out there and do it on the layers and make that work. And you'll get a lot of weapons quicker and quicker, better, and more efficient than going out there and just buying the weapon. Don't buy any weapons. I'm letting y'all know that ahead of time. Do not buy any weapons. You'll more like the weapons if you grind on the game. Now, unless you don't care about the game with the side quests, and you don't play on the hardest difficulty, and you play on the normal easy difficulty, then I think you're on the okay spot. Other than that, yeah, now you're close. 100%. So next thing about it, which is talents and levels. So of course, some people, you usually, when you're doing like talents and levels, right? You'll be good, right? Yeah, I want y'all to look at this. I am level 63. And the boss, I kind of went way too high on the level. I'll be frank, I'll be honest. I did go over high level. And the reason why was because one of the achievements, which, if you want to believe it, one of the achievements, which was the hardest one for me to get, well, honestly, it was two of them, two of them. One of them was, sorry. One of the hardest things that I had to do was, there's two of them in particular, which I'll show you. One of them was, Where is it at? I gotta look. Okay, we're right around. Where the heck is it? Bro, I swear on everything. It's supposed to be around here. There you go, right here. I'm stupid. My brain didn't think. The I am a legend. This is the hardest one because in this game, for me so far when I played it, it was so hard to get me literally all the weapons for 3 characters in particular because the game's percentages of how you get that weapon or the RNG in this game is just so dog water sometimes that it just makes you get cooked. It's just dog water. Respectfully, it just sucks. But when you get the weapons, they usually feel good and they are very rewarding to get, especially when you go up higher and higher down the lines. But here is the problem with the levels and the talent things. As you can see, there's talents and then there's levels. The levels is what helps you get talent points, correct? I think we all can understand that. But the problem is, at a certain level, which is I'm assuming 40, if not 42 and higher, whenever you get to around that 40 spot, you're not going to get a lot of talent points. You're not. Trust it from the guy that actually had to grind and thought if I could get more level stakes. And a lot of them you will not get. So for example, I'll give you an example. This guy right here, he has not fully finished any of his stuff. And yeah, same thing. He hasn't fully finished this thing. So he's not able to do certain things. And not even mentioning the ultimate as well, which I couldn't get as well. A lot of them. Hate my stupid dad while yawning. Okay, but anyway. As you see, down the lines, you're not going to have every one of them complete. So if you're one of them guys that want to complete your thing fully and see if you can get all, it's not going to work. Sadly, you're not going to be able to do that. Because in this game, it won't let you do that. Heck, I think even Mist, right here, yep, nope, can't max it all out. So what's the point of us, leveling up our talents if we can't, get nothing with it, right? That's how I'm feeling it. But yeah, that's pretty much the basis of this game. With this right here, the game does not show a lot of love when it comes down to giving you a lot of talent points. Because it stops after a certain period of time. So it kind of sucks, in my opinion. But it's life. And like I said, I already mentioned the quests and stuff. They're going to be a little boring, but sometimes it's going to be boring. But other than that lines, you'll be alright. Now, gears. Now, this is the problem in particular. Sometimes the gears help you with good HP and stuff. Some does not give you a lot of that stuff. And the way that you have to tap into stuff is really hard. Because back then when I played it, I didn't know how to do it. So of course, what you have to do if you want to get it out there, is obviously there's multiple things you can do here. But like my controller was a lot easier, but now I got to figure out on the mouse. So right click is like kicking it, getting out of that thing or escaping though. And stuff. So yeah, if you do F, tap F or whatever, you get to see what they do for you and your team, which is nice and all that. And then you have R to unequip, and then you can go out there and tap it like that, put it in there, and then go from there. But what you can do if you want to have an unequip that best gear out there, you can hit T, and it will usually do that. Like sometimes you might have 4,000 health, sometimes you might just have 3,000 something, sometimes you have 2,000, and go from there. And all that stuff. And what they don't also tell you is that some bosses you're gonna have to grind a lot for. I'll be honest with you. Because look, if you look at my other gameplays, I've been getting dogged on because I didn't do the side quest things. Not side quest things, but I didn't do the I didn't do the more of the layers and stuff. And when I didn't do a lot of layers, especially on hard difficulty, it kind of hurts a lot. Because the bosses will beat the dog out of you if you do not have a lot of those things. So keep that in mind as well when you play this game. Next thing here, I kind of had to write it down because some of them I don't remember as good, and I want to make sure I know them though. Teams, I think teams are very simple to understand. You have good ultimate things. The ultimates are pretty good sometimes. You already know how that goes. I already mentioned about the skills. I already mentioned about the journal a little bit. Now, I'll mention the other two before I think I stop there because that's all I really need to worry about. Because the other ones I've kind of mentioned all in that one video. I'm not trying to make this as simple as possible. Now, companionship. So, let me explain what companionship is, if it makes sense to y'all, after I go back to another game. So, I'll give you a quick example. So, example being around over here, where it is Book of Disturbances. So, of course, for now example, this would be a companionship thing. This right here. And I know that some people are going to ask, hey, does the main story at least explain something about the characters at most times or sometimes? Yes and no. Do they explain everything about their character? Not really. So you're going to have to do more of these green message things because for a lot of characters that you want to know more about, you're going to have to do that. And once I think you do all of them, you'll have a girl singing a song and stuff the entire time, which I think I have it on my live stream as well. Just don't know which one it is, which I apologize. I wish I had that all straight into a pack. But yeah, once you do that, you'll get some good things happen. You'll get a good song out there while you play. Hate this thing. There we go. Alright, y'all. So, my bad. My brain is just not happy. And I hate that I keep yawning every time. Try to keep on getting all this. I don't know what to call this thing. iCrumb dust or whatever you want to call it. But yeah. So, if you want to know most about the characters, you're going to have to look that up. I'm being honest. You're going to have to look it up on this companionship thing right here. Do it, go from there, and then you'll make it work. You're going to have to start doing that. If you don't, you're going to mess your own stuff up not knowing about the characters, and you might think about the game a little less than what you need to. So there is that as well. The next thing, which is DLC. And some people are going to say, is the DLC worth it compared to everything else? And if you don't know, it goes, I think, after Chapter 6. I think after a certain fight in particular, which you'll know it is because the game will even mention it to you. Which I'll give you the slight example. So, for example, this right here, it'll have this thing for after Chapter 6 and stuff. So please, what I recommend you do is please have a thing for Chapter 6. And when you go to that thing in Chapter 6, what you need to do is after you complete the main quest for Chapter 6, the game will let you know about it. Because you'll take it to Chapter 7, I think, and then when it takes you to Chapter 7, they'll have a thing for you to see. Which I'm going to show you real quick, just so people know real quick. Not spoiled, but just to let people know what it is. So I'll go, for example, to Chapter 7. And of course, there's this right here. Which I can also explain the other thing of the game, which you'll understand later. So yeah, this is the thing for DLC. So if people might say, is it worth it? I'll be honest and say it can be worth it if you don't mind playing more of Duel of the Brave, which is another thing for the hacking game. And you have 4 quests of it. It's not as much stuff, but I didn't really pay for this. Like my boy Vortex paid for it because he wanted me to play this game. He didn't care for the review though. I just put the review up there just for people out there that want to know about the game. Because 2 people told me about it and didn't go for them. It's stuff though. But yeah, Duel of the Brave is pretty much another hacking game. But the only difference is you get to play with Sky, and Sky is pretty broken. She has like the power of Exodia on her side as well. Oh, yeah, but another thing, y'all, is the game can tend to do this a lot. And that's not even my mouse, like, I mean, it's not my mouse, but it can do this at times. So just be a little cautious on some parts of the map. It can crash out though. It can slightly crash out though. And if something is in the way of it, it will crash out a little bit as well. And it can kick you out. It can though. So there is that as well. Along with other stuff with it, which, my bad. I keep forgetting, I have to hit escape. So yeah, now Duel of the Brave, they'll have these things out here. But if you see your thing, if you want to know why I say it's like Exodia, let me explain what I mean by Exodia. These things is pretty much like Exodia. You just gotta go out there and switch some things up with it. Like, go either hit switch or you hit this thing right here to continue to make sure that all of them are in the graveyard and/or slash safe zone, and you go from there. And then you do a Zodia, obliterate, and win the game. That's pretty much the basis of how that goes. And all that stuff, which I would play it more and just show y'all what I mean, but this game is not going to be the thing I want to play the entire time. So yeah, there's that as well. And then the last but next thing I want to obviously talk about, which a lot of people don't really care to probably, but I'll explain it anyway, is, and it's, I really don't want to explain this thing so much, but there are these things right here. I'm gonna be honest with you, these things don't matter. I hate to say it, but these things never matter. If you look at the valuables, they're not really valuables. They just don't really matter. I'm gonna be honest, they really don't matter. But you will have these other items as well, which are pretty okay as well. Some that can buff the tags, nerf attacks, certain things like that, or debuff them, whatever you want to call it. There are certain things that can do that and stuff. And there is games that this game does have some little crashes here and there about it as well. So keep that in mind as well. It can crash. It has crashed on me multiple times. Well, if I have to be honest on how many times it crashed on me, I want to say it crashed on me a total of 10 times. Most of them was during the quest where she cries and stuff. And then Graham tries, well not Graham, but Doe tries to reassure her and stuff. And then it crashed on me around that time when she cried. And then I crashed my game. I had to do it again and then got corrupted and stuff. So yeah, a lot of that stuff has happened to me though. So it's very iffy and stuff. But another thing I also want to mention is that if you do get the DLC, you also get to play as Sky. The game doesn't tell you that, but yeah. You actually can play with Sky in the DLC. You actually can play her all throughout the game whenever you get her. You get to play with her the entire way through. Which I very much like that they do that. But I really feel like she should have been a base character and then another person should have been in there as well. That's just my opinion. I feel like another character could have been good for it. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Cheney, like this girl right here, I feel like she should have had like the right to go out there again and, you know, be one of like the fights out there. Or join your team and stuff. But I mean, what do I know then? Wait, hold up. Is her face good? Hold on, wait a minute. I was making sure, cause like, yeah, like it looks weird here. Like, look, y'all see it? It looks weird. Like, look, right here. It looks weird right here. You know what? I'm sure this game is gonna take me off if I keep doing that. But yeah, I love Cheney. I'm just gonna say that. I love Cheney. I wish they had gave me more of Cheney though, but they really didn't. But DLC gives you a little thing for it. But everything else, I'm like, nah, forget this thing. But yeah, if you like Dual Brave, you'll like the DLC. So if you like the hacker game, you want to do more of the hacker game, but slightly a little better, this is your thing that you can buy. It's pretty okay. Would I recommend it? I mean, it's okay. And then you get to fight a boss out there, which is kind of boring, but I mean, hey, it's kind of fun in its own way. So I'll say if I have to rate it, like the DLC, I will rate it pretty much like a, I want to say, if out of everything they gave me, I want to say a low 7 out of 10. A very, very, very low 7 out of 10. And that's only if you really like the card game. But if you really don't, it's probably just going to be a 5 out of 10 for you. At least when it comes to this DLC thing. But if you're including it with the base game with it too, DLC with the base game, I'd say it's a good 6 out of 10. A good 6 out of 10. But if we're excluding the DLC out of the mix, I'm going to be honest with you, I think the game honestly is a 5 out of 10. This whole entire game in itself is a 5 out of 10. There's other things that they need to fix with the game, and it's not me trying to bash on the developers or nothing. Because look, honestly, back if you had asked me way back then, I would have said 3 out of 10. Probably back then, if you asked me, I would have said 3 out of 10. Because of the crashes and stuff, and I'm not including the crashes and stuff that I've had on the game most times. I excluded that out because I added that in there. It probably been a lot of hate, but honestly, it's only because of the fact that I want better for the game. Like if I go out there and I play another Mato Anomalies 2 or whatever, which like I said, I don't want to play no more Mato Anomalies 1, but hopefully Mato Anomalies 2 they get their thing straight if they ever do one. Hopefully they fix the gameplay of it, with some aspects of the gameplay. Make it a little bit more fun and interesting, because I do like some of it. It's just sometimes the gameplay feels kind of boring. Let us have like some new, mechanics in there that make the game a little fun or something. Like you could have something like an all-out attack that's something similar to an all-out attack or something. Or give us something that makes it a little fun that we can do. Give us something. Because sometimes, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. The game ain't all that fun, especially with the fighting. The fighting is where the game just goes out there. Because look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Do you know when I've asked some people that played this game? Because there's a few people I knew that played this game, but I never understood this game. I asked them how far they made the game. Do you know what most of them had said? They said up to chapter 1, if not chapter 2, and that's at the very least of it. And you don't want to know why, other than probably being a trial. It's mainly because of the fighting. The fighting in the game was not all that fun to them or that entertaining to them. So they just stopped playing the game altogether. Which is another thing that they have to maybe make something work with it. Because if you don't, they're probably not going to want to play it that much. But yeah, y'all, that's mainly it for this rant of a thing, review. But right now, as I consider it, it's a 5 out of 10. Like I said, the reason why it's a 5 out of 10 at the moment is the story at the very end is very convoluted, very complex. It doesn't make no sense with the story. And all that stuff is just all out the way. Now, if you like complex stories, yeah, you might like it. But other than that, I'm just like, got complex stories. The hacking game is very iffy-ish. The bugs in the game, like I said, I'm not including the crashes because the crashes, that would probably make it go a lot down. The fighting is a little the music is just in between. Graphics design though, like I said, very great. Graphics and designs, I agree. The game is really great with the graphics design. Excluding some things of the enemies, and sometimes they have this comic cutscene thing, and then they have this full motion thing, which is actually pretty good. Which I like. It's just the fact that some parts of the comic cutscene things sometimes are kind of weird, or they kind of cut in and out, and I'm just like, what the heck? Or the full model one is like, it's there, and then it just does its own nonsense. I'm just sitting here like, what am I supposed to say about that? Like I said, the talent levels, that thing kind of throws me off because I really feel like I should be able to level up my characters and have a lot of talents for it. That's just me, but hey, this. The money issues, the money issues ain't too bad of a deal. As long as you like to grind, it's okay. It's like every other game that you have to grind in to get higher levels. It's like SMT 3 even, or SMT anything in general, so that kind of happens. The items are really hard to get until you get a lot of money, so just keep that in mind. Journal's okay. I mean, DLC, as I mentioned, the DLC I think is really great. It's just the fact that it all depends if you like the dual brave thing. If you like the dual brave thing, I think it's an okay experience for you, and I think it's going to be really good for you in general. And the main quest of it isn't as bad because you actually get to talk more to the other character, and so you get to know more about Sky. So that's also a great thing as well, coming down to it and stuff, which makes it great because not a lot of people knew who Sky was, and didn't really have no time to spotlight, and we all wanted to have Sky in a little fight game. And yeah, look, we got her fighting though. Not like she's in a fight game, but she's fighting though nonetheless though. And I can actually respect that. The only problem with Sky though is that when you play Sky, and I hate to say this, when you play Sky, as you see the weapons that I have for her, I'm gonna be honest with you. And the DLC, hey, I will say though, the DLC music for this theme right here that's playing that y'all don't know about, it's kind of cooking though. So I like that theme though. But yeah, let me go back to it now. So when you have this is all you really get to see of it. And yeah, this is all the weapons you're gonna get for it. So just keep that in mind as well. It's that anything that you go for other layers and stuff, you're not gonna get anything like these. So if you're gonna ask about, are you gonna get any more of these? No. So that just literally makes Guy just useless. Which is my other gripe with the game is that they don't show a lot of love to Sky with weapons. So if you're that type of person that's like, oh yeah, I love Sky, she's very amazing, very great. Yeah, they don't give her enough, stuff to make her cook up with. And here's what I recommend they do for the game. If you're not going to at least make her go up there with the base game stuff, what I recommend the game do is at least have like the DLC stuff for another quest in particular, so that we can go higher up there and level her up a little more, or find ways to help her get something going, because I don't like the fact that we really can't go out there and give her any better weapons to level 7. And as you can see, the weapons can go up to... My bad. They go up to a lot of other levels, which I'll even show you the higher levels I can go to. Give me a second. Let's go ahead, go here. And I want y'all to look at the levels here and tell me if this makes it fair. 12. So 12 being the highest, obviously. As you see, 12 is the highest level. This one's 12. This is 12. This is 12. This is 12. This is 11 so far. And then you have her, who has something of an 8 and then a 7. And that is it. Nothing else. Just a 7 and an 8. That is it. 7s and 8s, you don't get nothing else after that. And it kind of makes me just disappointed that they didn't give out a little bit more for DLC, which is why I have to say it's a 7 out of 10, if not 6 out of 10. Because they didn't show a lot of love to Sky when it comes to certain other weapons, or later weapons down the line. And it kind of makes me feel like they just didn't give 2 cares about her. Slightly. But hey, that's just life at this point. So yeah, those are the main things I have to say about the game. I do hope that in Mato Anomalies 2 that they do a lot better. They do some things that can adjust certain things and fix some certain bugs that are in the game. Because look, some people are going to ask me, oh, do I want the game to succeed? Of course I want a game to succeed. I don't want no game to fall down or be flunked down to, memory lane and then no one cares about the game. I want the game to cook. It's just like that. They have to be willing to work to make it work though. But I mean, hey. Look, I'll be honest with you. If Vortex didn't give me the buddy for this game, I probably wouldn't play it. But I played for him, and I'm doing it for y'all out there, devs out there. Because I know there's some devs out there that might look and listen to it. Because look, I think the design, peak, amazing. Everything about it, you ain't got to worry about design though. Design, you don't got to worry nothing about design or anything of that in particular. I think the designs are good. Like I said, there might be some slight enemy designs and some names that I'm like, it is what it is. But other from that, I think everything about this game could be better. They just gotta fix it out and stuff. The music can be slightly better. Y'all can make the music a little better. Y'all can make some bugs be fixed a lot so that it don't have to worry about it in other games. Make the fighting a little bit more interesting. The hacking game, if you want to keep the hacking game in there, make it a little bit more funner and not boring and annoying, because after you play it a few times, like 3 times, you're like, okay, cool. After that, you're just kind of like it's a chore at this point. Just make that a little bit better, and we're good. I mean, the story, it can be convoluted as much as it wants to be. Some people might like convoluted stories. I'm not gonna complain about that. Talents levels, please fix that. Make it to where, like, if I'm leveling up, I should always be able to get a talent, no matter what. It shouldn't be a thing where I have to go out there and suffer because, oh yeah, I leveled up and I can't do nothing with my talents because I'm 42 to 44, some dumb nonsense. I don't think that should be a thing, because that's absolutely terrible. I'm not gonna lie to you. And the gear is fine, just please don't make it an everyday thing where I have to always level up my gear 24/7 just to go out there and be able to beat the boss easier or easily. I don't like that. And then go on from there. But yeah, y'all, that is my main gripes with the game. Thank y'all for listening into this. I don't even know what to call myself at this point. Man in particular, like, what am I gonna say? Younger man. The entire time or anything like that. But yeah, no. That's just how I feel. I mean, hey, hopefully this game does cook. Hopefully they take my advice up to some grade of salt or something. Hopefully they let me cook up, or they understand what I'm trying to cook up with, or try to let them know. Because look, I beat the game. I even, like I said, I maxed out. I did all of that stuff. I did it for technical Vortex though, but I did it for them as well. And I'm gonna be honest, like I said, there's only 2-3 of them that was so hard for me to beat, and I already mentioned them. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, y'all, we're gonna stop it here. Now, I'm going to have, probably by the time you see this video, I'm gonna have the boss up there. So the boss will be up here for people out there that wanted to see that. I'll have the boss over there. The boss will be here. And then a little bit later down the line, we're gonna have the other fight, which is TN Lay thing, and then we're gonna have a review, which is gonna be up here. This review thing is gonna be up here for later. So then after that, then we can go out there, and if you anyone's still listening for like this adventure camp and stuff, this adventure camp, I know that they had the thing out there. I'll look at that a little bit later. Whenever I get Kayla with us. So when Kayla gets here, I'll go out there, I'll explain my opinion about it. But I'm gonna have a collab with Happy Jim for a certain video. Whether it's hot takes or whether it's my bad, sorry. I had you on. Because I did kind of wake up a little early though. But yeah, hot takes. So yeah, after hot takes, there's what would I say? Is it hot takes or there's like a weird little thing I gotta do with this adventure game? Which I'm probably gonna have a hot takes tier list or something. Well, not hot takes tier list, but like a hot take in general type of thing. That's how about it. So I'll ask Happy Jim if whenever he's free for like a random video in particular that I can do with hot takes, which I'll have a collab thing with him. We'll go for there. He'll be up there. I'll have mine up there. Just to have a little something up there that's a collab just between me and him, just to see how it goes, you know. And if y'all like to see more of him with us with this adventure camp, we could go out there. I could add him up there with it for any like let's say like episode like 1 reviews, episode 2 reviews, episode 3 reviews, something like that for this adventure camp. Which I'll explain that later, a little bit later down the line for this adventure camp, and see if people would like to see more of it. Because I obviously want to go out there and have like my little videos I want to do with certain people. Like Solo Volar, I want to have a video with him though. Like Loki, I want to have a video with him though. Cause look, man, he a cool dude, cool chill dude. Hey, look, man, I know I can't really, you know, I can't do it, at least not yet, because I gotta work my way up before I, you know, go out there with the whole collab thing. But like I said, I will make a collab with Happy Jim. Happy Jim said, yeah, he was down for it. So me and Happy Jim will have a video. Like I said, I don't know if it's gonna be for hot takes for his adventure camp or something for like how I feel about the characters and what tier list do we rank them and stuff. We might have that up there. I'll ask him what he feels or what he thinks, or if we should have hot takes, or should we just have like a tier list thing in general and then just go for it. And we could just have like a little debate about it if we need to. And, you know, have some stuff like that, you know? Just let me know how y'all feel about that. For people that watch this adventure camp, that watch this video, just let me know. Yeah, y'all. Peace and love, y'all. Yeah.